The Oast House Theatre in Kent is home to the Rainham Theatrical Society, but the Rats are not the only occupants, as members past and present have reported chilling encounters with spirits from the other side.
All right. What's my motivation?
Well, you always hated Ruby.
Did I?
I think so.
Why?
She always got all the leading roles.
Not true.
Oh, come on!
I hated Ruby generally, not for any specific reason.
The Rainham Theatrical Society has been a society since the late 40s, used to perform in church halls in and around the Rainham area.
I think it was about a year after I joined, somebody saw an advert in the paper for a storage area in an Oast house that could be used as storage. And members decided that it might do for a theatre.
Very small theatre, very intimate, seats 72 people, and the audience is very close to the stage, which is brilliant when you're doing panto for audience participation.
I think we got it, we had rented it, I think, to start with, as a theatre, but there was nothing here at all. It was just beams, there were no walls or anything, and where we're sitting in here now was the kiln, which they'd put the fire in, and above there they'd dry the hops.
Well, this is a bellows, which was left when the Oast House stopped working as an Oast House, and we decided to keep it as a sort of a museum piece, which is it's a nice feature when people come up the stairs to the auditorium.
Well, I have been here 50 years, yes, and I can say I was the first person to act on the stage up there, because the first play we did here was Billy Liar, and I played Grandma, and Grandma is found on the stage with her pension book talking to herself. So at least I can say I was the first person on here.
Right, are you ready? We're going to go from 45 again, so where we just went from. And the play's Ghostwriter by David Tristram. It's a spooky comedy with a twist at the end, but David Tristram always has a twist at the end if you know his work. Rehearsals have been brilliant. I've been blessed with a really fantastic cast, and rehearsals have just been really fun.
It's been a real popular production. I think David Tristram's a great author, and I've been in a couple of his plays we've done here. Great fun to do. And more importantly, the audiences like them as well. He
does quite obscure plays, which make you think, and obviously because it's a comedy as well, it's always a good draw for the audience, and that's one of the reasons we chose it.
We had a young lad who was 10, and actually he was crying. He thought it was really scary. Obviously, doing the play, you don't realise, after time and time, you don't realise it is scary actually. But there are some special effects that actually you could think it was a bit scary. There's a couple of people said it was.
I think we've hit tops with this production, certainly from the feedback so far. We've still got 3 nights to go, but if we get that same feedback next week, then it'll be great.
Well, I'm not one to speak ill of the dead and all that, but she was a selfish, two-faced, obnoxious, whining old crow. Hyper-bloody-thetically speaking, of course.
No, Edward.
Allow me. A hint. A very palpable hint.
Just stop there for a second. When you knee him in the groin, if you could just kind of to the audience more, so if you're facing the audience so they can really see that while you move away, just stay there for longer before you turn around.
But the ghosts making their presence known at the Oast House Theatre are not always actors. Ghostly tales have been passed on over the decades by many of the members.
I used to be absolutely terrified if I had to turn the lights off and go down the stairs and leave the lights on, turn the lights off and run down the stairs. I used to run, never look back. I'm better now, I'm a bit older, but I have had a couple of experiences of being tapped on the shoulder and no one being there, and it sort of frightens you a bit at first, but you get used to it.
Well, I have never felt it. I just felt completely comfortable and happy, and people seem to be frightened to be here alone.
And with good reason. Rumour has it that one of the ghosts haunting the theatre is that of a local farmer whose presence has often been felt around the site of the old kilns, now the green room where Brenda is talking from.
His wife had been having an affair with a young man, and he went out to Upchurch, I think it was, and killed them both. And then he came back here and hanged himself.
And someone who is in no doubt this tale is true is Rats member Beryl Lacey, who's still frightened to this day after being spooked whilst alone in the theatre one evening.
And I was kneeling down on the floor down stage left there, just painting away happily. I wasn't thinking about anything in particular, you know, just listening to a bit of music, and all of a sudden the hairs on the back of my neck went up, and I had this awful, scary feeling that somebody was standing looking at me through the window, and I couldn't move. I was absolutely petrified. And in the end, I just slowly got up, and I just walked straight over to the fire exit there, pushed it open as fast as I could, and just stood there on the top step. I didn't see anything, but the feeling I had that someone was standing there looking at me through that window was overwhelming, and I've not been able to come in the building on my own since.
So who is haunting the stage at the Oast House Theatre? And does Beryl still have cause to be scared? We invited TV psychic Grant Collier to investigate.
I've heard you've been having a lot of experiences down here.
Well, I've only had one, but other
Right.
people have had some, and some people have had quite a few, I think.
Right, okay. Lovely.
Oh, you want to come through then?
Yeah, let's go. Ah, so this is it.
You feeling anything, or what do you think about it?
Well, the first instant as we literally talk about it, it almost felt like I was engulfed with energy. Okay, you would probably understand that there was something. You felt like you would have looked around and you would have seen somebody. You know, he would have come up behind you and you were like, "Oh, who's that? Who's that? Who's that?" Was that what you was experiencing?
That was the feeling I
Yeah,
had.
because he has this element of surprise. He doesn't mean to. I just think that his flowing energy comes through the building, and it's almost like, whoa, but his energy is very much over here. I feel like I'm being drawn to this energy. And if you feel it, if you come over here, have you ever felt a cold presence in that area? Have you ever felt cold spots?
This
is where he is.
I did,
this is his energy,
yeah.
right in this corner. He would have worked in here when it was the energy of an active place. He's got his shirt sleeves rolled up, very old-fashioned look. He's almost got his cap on as well. Do you get the feel of fear with him?
Oh, I was frightened, yeah.
Because this is a guy I feel that was very much in life, somebody that wasn't overly keen or wasn't overly into a loving area of his life. This is a guy that was quite angry. And I think it was just because he had a hatred for women because of what this woman had done to him. But he's not there to hurt you. This isn't a guy that wants to put that energy across. He just wants to put fear. Because, do you know what? I'm going to say this to you. You remind him of a partner or somebody that he would have been close to.
Somebody he hated.
It wasn't. I think it was a lack of love. Okay, I think that he hated the fact that he was betrayed by his partner. But his energy's there because yes, he's interested in watching. He's a woman watcher. He likes to scare the women. That's what he does. He doesn't mean to, but that's something that it makes him feel better because of the anger inside him. Do you understand what I mean? But this is a guy that won't hurt you.
So, what did Beryl make of Grant's findings?
He was spot on, actually, about somebody and a man. I felt it was a man, and I felt he was not physically threatening, but not nice, and that he was staring at me, and he was there. I still won't come in here on my own anymore, whatever he says.
Get thee to a nunnery.
Get thee to a brewery.
Oh, I've good mind to give her a bloody good item.
Don't be ridiculous, Headley. That would involve getting up off your chair, and you're far too lazy and far too pissed.
Taint's getting out of hand.
Agreed.
We meet twice a week. If you're in a normal production, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have a youth group that meets on a Wednesday evening. And on a Monday evening, we have set building, and we also have a concert party that meets, which go out and perform to WIs and other groups in the area, and it raises money for the upkeep of the building. We perform 6 productions a year. The first one of the year is our pantomime, which is always a sellout. We do 4 other productions throughout the year through our senior section, and we have a youth group that also do a production once a year.
So we don't tend to do here at the Oast House what I'd class as sort of highbrow theatre. We don't do Shakespeare. We tend to do comedies are very popular. I think in the climate we're in now, people want to come out for an evening. They want to be entertained and they want to be laughing. So key for us is comedy.
Just say the word, Edward.
You did tell her about us, I take it.
Us?
Us, yes. Me and you. Us.
Another Rats member who's witnessed the spirits behind the theatre's bar is Melody Harbour.
One time I was cashing up at the end of the evening, and when I double-checked the money I'd taken, I was 20p short. And I checked again and it was still 20p short, so I thought, well, I'll just take it out of my own purse and put it in to make it right. Then over the course of a few months, I found a 10p and 2 5s just lying about the building. So I concluded, we always refer to Fred as being the person who gets up to tricks when things go wrong, and he gave me my 20p back.
Will Grant be able to confirm Melody's encounters with the other side?
Ah, look at these. Okay, so we've got a bar here, okay.
Yes.
I'm guided very much to this end of the bar. If we walk up here, I feel like I want to stand here.
Yes.
You know? And I've got a guy here that really does take the biscuit. Almost feels like he will lean across and do things to the optics. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah? And I don't know if you feel like you get rattling or you feel there's anything there, but this is a guy that tries to take advantage or try and get your attention, or you'll feel the energy of him. He's a pleasant guy, he's a lovely guy, he's a sociable guy, he's a joker. Okay, all right. Has he ever sort of touched you, or you ever felt his presence?
Yes.
Because the feeling is, and he's making me laugh because he's jokingly saying, yeah, I used to go up and just pinch her from behind. Do you know what I mean? He's trying to do this with you. Do you understand what I mean? Have you ever felt that?
I have been goosed, yes.
Because it feels like he's trying to pinch you behind here. I get the strong energy of a John, okay, with him. But I also get the strong connection that he's bringing through an energy for you as well. So there's a John link around you that he's bringing through for you. You understand that? Okay. Now this would either be a father or somebody older than you, but it feels like I've got an energy above you with the John name, and he says he's bringing him through for you now. So this is an energy of a guy that he cares about you. He cares about people, but he loves your energy. He doesn't mean to make you go, ooh, no, what was that? This is just a guy that loved life. Okay. The feeling is with him is lung cancer. There's like the feeling of lungs filling up. It could well be tuberculosis, but whether it is, he felt his lungs filling up, okay? And I can't get my breath. And he's making me feel like I want to go, try and catch my breath, you know? He was a smoker, so it didn't help him. Anyway, he's pulling his energy back, darling. I'm going to leave his love, okay, because he does love you. He loves you to bits. He thinks you're a fantastic energy, and he loves being near you when you're working. And we'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
But can Melody place this cheeky bottom-pinching spirit?
Well, I do remember a gentleman called John, and he was rather a cheeky man, and he used to tell tales about what he did, and he was very, very friendly. So I'm concluding that this must be the person he's speaking of.
Well, that concludes the investigation of the haunted stage doors down here in Rainham in Kent. And I've got to say to you that spirit is still active here today. From what I've picked up, there is no negative energy, but there's still a loving energy. Take care.
But what do Chairman Helen and long-serving member Brenda make of the evening's investigation?
Very interesting, yeah. I've found some of the points he's made, you know, quite sort of poignant, and you sort of think of people that he may be referring to. Obviously, a lot of the history of the building goes way back before it was a theatre as well, so we couldn't always be aware of who may have come across the threshold during those times.
But I wonder how many people would like to spend 24 hours alone in the Oast House.